What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel, predicting who will be the next 3 IC title holders. Now, obviously, you see Dom here, but we are looking at the men's and women's title, so you're going to see a lot of videos of the US, the world titles, and the WWE titles, all predicting the next 3 holders in each different videos. I need to first say, obviously, these are predictions with a little bit of kind of how I would book it or what I think WWE would do, but obviously things can change on an instant. If you would have told me Roman Reigns' reign would have ended, let's say in 2023, no, let's say 2024. I'll say 2024. Roman Reigns, the next 3 title holders would be Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. I would think you're crazy. Also, there's something called Money in the Bank on some of the main title holders, so that things can switch up. But luckily for the IC titles, hopefully, if we're not pulling an Austin Theory, that won't happen. And I guess technically he didn't even win it, so it doesn't even happen. But even then, things can change on the instant. Even with the IC title, the last 3 holders before Dirty Dominic Mysterio were, I just realized they're Breaker, Jey Uso, Breaker, then Sammy, then Gunther. So we had actually a lot of different stuff, and I bet after Gunther's reign you wouldn't know as well if Breaker or Jey Uso would have won it, especially I think Jey Uso at that time. So yeah, things can change on an instant. So let's get started and let's talk about it. So I think on the channel I have nonstop been saying that Ilya Dragunov is my pick to beat Dominic Mysterio, but after that episode of Raw where it was Rusev versus Dominic Mysterio and he beat Rusev, I'm getting worried that he's gonna ultimately lose to Rusev. I hope that's not the case. I hope that doesn't happen, but this could be the push into the face push. And I think that's the reason why I have this, is because I could see a world where either or Finn or Dominic Mysterio turn babyface or heel, or I guess strengthen heel. I'm worried that Finn's going to cost Dom the match against Rusev here soon, and it's going to make Dominic a babyface, Rusev's the heel in this situation. Just makes sense. Now, obviously, I've nonstop been saying Ilya Dragunov. I mean, a heel and Dominic Mysterio losing to a babyface and Ilya Dragunov makes sense, but I'm actually... See, here's my thing. I think maybe the personal side of me wants Finn Balor to be a babyface, especially after seeing him in NXT and hearing the greatest theme song of all time, and I will stand on business on that. But the other side of me is thinking in my head and thinking in my brain that I just have to say, I think Dominic will become the babyface in this situation. He's way too over right now. Maybe he's ultimately always a tweener, but I really do believe that it will be Dominic Mysterio maybe losing to a heel instead, and it's Rusev. Now, this will still lead to something that I still see could happen, and that is a match where it's Rusev versus Ilya Dragunov. And I say versus, but it really is just the title going to that person. Could be in a triple threat, could be something else, but I see Rusev being the one as a heel to lose to a babyface Ilya Dragunov. A thing that I'm realizing as well is that the plan for Ilya Dragunov, we've heard rumors about, okay, he's about to be ready or 100% ready. They're holding on to him. I think they're going to probably maybe debut him at a PLE, maybe not. Maybe he comes back for something, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is entirely, but what if this is the scenario we have? What if Dom doesn't lose to Ilya Dragunov because Ilya is the babyface in this situation, and obviously Dom is trying to be a babyface, so they're not going to let the babyface win if, you know, making another person a babyface. Maybe that makes Dom still the heel here. But what if the plan was Rusev with the IC title with a feud with Ilya Dragunov? So the rumors that have been around with Ilya have been that he's about to be returned, but he's supposed to be feuding with AJ Styles, and he's supposed to be feuding with Rusev. Those are the 2 names that have been name dropped by credible sources that's the plan for a feud. The same people that have been reporting that Rusev and Sheamus, when Rusev first started, were going to have feuds on Monday Night Raw that will go on for a while, which did happen. So for me, I see a world where Rusev wins the championship but doesn't have a long reign, and I could see Ilya winning either right before Royal Rumble or a little bit after Royal Rumble, maybe on a PLE if they're feeling like doing it. They're not going to do it, but I could see a hard-hitting match with 2 men that I think technically could be, I say technically, but I literally mean like technical wrestlers that are insane. I also like the dynamic of a vet in the past going to a now younger guy that I think could hold his title for a while or lose it right away and win it back a little bit later, which is a hint on my second. And I don't know who's really going to beat Ilya Dragunov because I think I have a lot of different options and there's no wrong answer to it. It's just what I think. But right now, this is a scenario I'm seeing where I'm thinking of Rusev going against Ilya Dragunov. But here I have Ilya Dragunov losing to Sheamus. Now, I don't know if this would be a Mania moment. I don't know if it's a SummerSlam moment. I don't know if it's a PLE in Ireland somehow. We're going to Dublin or something. Maybe even on a Monday Night Raw in Dublin. I don't know. You know what I just realized? They have a European tour happening during, I think, right before the Royal Rumble or something like that. That's maybe a place where Ilya Dragunov wins. I'm going to throw that out there. Anyways, I think Ilya Dragunov against Sheamus is going to be a match. Now, is it an automatic win? Is it going to be a feud? I would guess a feud. My only worry on this is I could see Ilya Dragunov holding this title for a long, long time. Like, for example, I could see maybe, it could be the WrestleMania 43 match and it's Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther, but maybe Gunther, after it's all said and done, comes back against Ilya Dragunov for the IC title and they have a match there. I just have to be completely honest with you. I think there could be a storyline with Ilya Dragunov losing to Sheamus for the Grand Slam at a certain PLE, and then Ilya Dragunov maybe turning heel. Maybe I'm just suggesting that off the top of my head, but I could see Ilya Dragunov just winning it back later on in like a month or two because ultimately Sheamus just wants the Grand Slam and it's not really about how long he has it, just when he gets it, which will ultimately lead to maybe a retirement in the next month or so. I said month, but I meant like year. I don't think it'll be a month after. But I think you could go a different way about this. If Ilya Dragunov holds this for a while, I kind of want to throw in a Ricky Saints in there. I kind of want to throw in a Carmelo Hayes, someone that he's had beef with on NXT. Trick Williams was another one I was thinking of. Bronson Reed could be somebody to win the IC title. I'm just thinking of people that a little bit younger or people that should have the title, but I kind of want the young guy in Ilya Dragunov losing to a veteran, so it's a little bit more of a valid win. Just how like Braun Breaker and Jey Uso had it. But this is what I'm seeing. This is what I truthfully see. The women's IC title is the first match, I think, a little predictable. I know a lot of people think that Becky Lynch might not win or lose the title to AJ Lee, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing WWE in their mind, I think, is going to give AJ Lee the title. This is momentum that they need to keep building. AJ Lee's return is crazy, and I think the best way to do it is put that IC title on her. The whole thing with the two mid-card titles is you're trying to build them to be legitimate titles since it hasn't even been a year since they've been introduced. Especially the IC title was like second week of January, while the US title was middle of December, if I'm remembering, like December 12th. I don't know the actual date, but around then. So for me, I think what validates this title even more is Becky Lynch holding on to this title and then dropping it to a returning veteran of AJ Lee, and she's over. And I think this IC title it'll be wonders for this IC title, and I think that's what should be the plan. And I think I was going to say it would explore so many new options, but I think we'll get something that I personally think is, again, another question mark of, circling the same people a little bit, but we'll get to that a little later. But this is the move, and I think this is the right move. I think you get Becky Lynch to go for the world title, you get AJ Lee on this title, and this is what I would do. I really think so, and I think it just makes sense. I mean, AJ Lee's back, mid-card title, elevates the title a little bit. AJ Lee maybe wrestling a little more. I think having the title more on PLEs because it's AJ Lee and that's the name. It just makes sense. Call me crazy, but don't call me crazy like Bayley though. But I do believe this is the route they'll go with this title. And there's a few reasons why. So I think the big obvious one that everyone thinks when AJ Lee loses his title is that it's going to go to Roxanne Perez. Now, I see it. I just don't trust WWE. I love Roxanne Perez. She is somebody that I was heavy on immediately in NXT, whatever. And for her being so young, for her going to the main roster, I had predictions for her in 2025. She would win any title, which she did technically, but win any title going into the year, mid-card title, because I thought the route they would go is Lyra, Bayley, then Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne Perez is holding that title at Mania, and then maybe Liv goes after that title against Roxanne Perez. I thought that was a really good route. But I'm kind of seeing, in my eyes, not what they're going to do with Braun Breaker entirely, because Braun Breaker is getting that push right now. But they're young. They're so young that you can wait 1 year with this person. Like Roxanne Perez at, I think she's 23, 24. You can wait a little bit with her. She got second place in the Royal Rumble. That's huge. She's part of big storylines. She's still going into Queen of the Ring tournaments and winning. She was in the Money in the Bank qualifier. Like Roxanne Perez will be a top talent in this division. You don't have to push her right away. And there's another reason why I don't have her in this plan. And there's a truthfully bigger reason why. And you'll probably see it a little later. And by a little later, I mean in another video. Hint, hint. Could she have another title? But I see a storyline of AJ Lee. And I think also they might want to save that match in the future. Hint, hint, another video. I could see a storyline of AJ Lee going with the title and then going after Bayley. Or Bayley goes after her. Or it wouldn't be, I guess, AJ Lee going after Bayley. It would be Bayley going after her. Now, here's the reason why. AJ Lee versus Bayley, in right now what's going on, I think would be, I love Roxanne Perez, a better feud. Bayley's split personality character against an AJ Lee who is a big inspiration to her. She's literally wearing AJ Lee merch sometimes when she's backstage and stuff in segments. And her heel persona she keeps going back and forth on will be the perfect character to go against AJ Lee. I think also you would see Bayley fighting an AJ Lee, happy to be with AJ Lee, not wanting to do certain things, maybe leading to AJ Lee to do certain wins. Then the heel persona is involved and maybe she's attacking AJ Lee, maybe doing this and people are booing Bayley, but she's going back and forth. She's a tweener. She's doing different things on different days. She's just going back and forth, and it's because she's her inspiration. She's the one that she loves, but also at the same time she wants that title, which I think the end of it all will be Bayley fully turning heel, going fully into the dark side and winning that title against AJ Lee. And I think that's the crescendo of, is that what the right term is? Crescendo, like the climax, I guess. Yeah. Or is that the end? I guess I don't know music. Anyways, Bayley will win, and I think Bayley will win the title, and I think that's when she turns fully heel, and there is no more good Bayley, and that's where we go. And I think that's the route that WWE should go. I understand people wanting Roxanne and wanting the heel Roxanne, but I have bigger plans for her because I think she is a little bit of, I think it is valid for her to do other things, and I think there's a bigger storyline that can make her into a bigger star. But I have that. This one is the one that I keep going back and forth on, and I keep thinking, okay, is this real? Should I go with Becky Lynch? Should I go with a new upcoming star? Because right now, in my eyes, Bayley would be full heel. So who is the babyface to go after Bayley? And is it an NXT star? I could see that. I could see Bayley trying to push over talent. I could see somebody like maybe at this time Sol Ruca. Maybe at this time... Why am I blanking? Jordan Grace, maybe someone like that. I could see that happening, but, and a lot of buts. I think the best storyline would be Lyra Valkyria. Maybe she goes to SmackDown. If she doesn't, then this is the route. Goes back to Bayley and wins the title off her. I'm not saying right away, but I'm saying that the good guy Lyra Valkyria, which I think is where we would always have, I think they're trying to keep Lyra Valkyria, that babyface, would beat a Bayley. And that's kind of the route I'm going with. I think Bayley would have this kind of storyline where she is going against these baby faces, whatever, and she goes against Lyra Valkyria because of all the beef she's had for the past couple of years. So the way, I didn't even say like the way I would have this title, I just realized, go. I would say it would be Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, early 2026, late 2025, somewhere there. maybe AJ Lee drops it at Mania, or maybe it's SummerSlam. I think around one of those two dates. I think you have to drop on one of those two dates. I kind of want to say Mania, to be honest with you. And then I would have maybe like the feud still going on with that title for a little bit. Maybe AJ Lee is now feuding with an actual person instead. And then maybe from there you go Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria at SummerSlam. Like, I don't think that's a shock. And that's probably where I would go, because I think Lyra Valkyria is the babyface, and I don't see her going for that world title just yet. But I still like it like this. I keep thinking maybe there's people like Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, like I said. Maybe we have some superstars like Io Sky, or I wouldn't say Rhea, maybe Tiffany Stratton, maybe. I'm just trying to think of people that are higher up stars that could go after the title. Maybe Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. Maybe that's the route they go. But for now, I'm going to say Lyra Valkyria. I'm trying to think off of NXT. Like, I don't want to say Lash Legend or something, but I would personally do it. But that's where I would go. And that's the end of the video. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.